And welcome. We're back with another episode of Lunch and Learn with Vince. And I have a very dear friend and special guest. Her name is Pam McDowell with Scalewatcher. Pam, welcome and tell us a little about yourself.
Hi, Vince, and hi, everybody out there. My name is Pam McDowell, and I'm lucky enough to work with Scalewatcher North America. Right now, I'm the manager for Scalewatcher, and I work very, very hard with production, with the accounting, with everyday business with Scalewatcher. But the most important thing that I get to work with are my customers.
That's fantastic. How long have you been there, Pam?
Been here since 2005, so going on 16 years now. And I've learned an awful lot about not only water treatment, but the environment too.
Both of which are very, very important. And I mentioned prior to recording that you do in fact have a money back guarantee. So this is something that the folks should keep in mind. If you're having a problem with scaling in your pipes and whatnot, then it's important to know that give Scalewatcher a try and see if it works for you.
Absolutely. Scalewatcher, actually, we make 28 different models. We make 5 independent models for residential use. We have commercial, we have industrial units, and we have heavy industrial units. We can treat pipes anywhere from a ½ an inch all the way up to 120 inches. Above 120 inches, yes, that's special order, but we can still do that too.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start off. We talked a little bit about ice and how it'll affect ice machine making. Now, this is now you mentioned it could be residential, but it also could be commercial. So this is 2 shots or 1 shot for both sides. If you're a resident, you have an ice maker, or if you're a large business and you produce ice, how does Scalewatcher help you there?
What we do is we do not remove anything from the water, but we break down the calcium. And if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen with you.
Please do. I encourage that. I always
encourage. Just a moment, I'm going to pull this up. A lot of times with ice, this is what you will have. And this is out of York Ice, out of York, Pennsylvania. They were having problems with the clarity of their ice. As you can see, the clarity here is not so hot. You're very cloudy at the bottom and only have clarity at the top. In 2012, York Ice gave us a call and said, hey, these are the problems that we're having. Can you help us? Well, I actually went up and did an install for them.
Wow.
And I was actually able to get these results within about a month.
Oh, I like that.
That's better. As you can see, the clarity of the ice has improved dramatically. They were actually able to save a lot of ice from being discarded because they will discard discolored ice.
Interesting. Wow. So that's just one of literally thousands of examples. I mean, if you've been doing this for 16 years, I can imagine, how many different examples you have. Are there any other ones that you care to share that you've seen firsthand, some success stories?
Well, we have gone through the ice now. Let's go to the other end of the spectrum with heat. In 2012, I believe it was, no, 2011. I'm going to share this screen with you. Comfort Water and Comfort Independent School in Texas used our unit on their hot water heaters. As you can see here from the screen share, and I'm hoping that you can see this.
I can. It looks like kind of a greenish calcium deposits of some green and yellowish, kind of very off-putting.
Absolutely. What that actually is, that is a scale buildup. For every bit of scale buildup that you see on those elements, because that's the heating element that heats that water. For every quarter inch that you see, you're losing about 30 to 40% of your heat efficiency into the water. And that green that you see is iron, and it's also microbes. What this is the microbes actually go into the scale to protect themselves. And what Scalewatcher does by removing the scale, you're actually removing the bacteria, and you're removing the environment that the bacteria use to live and breed. Now, if we go down here a little bit further, after 30 days, we pulled the same element, and this is what you see. That much had come off. Within 45 days, this is what the heating element looked like.
That's
and this
incredible.
Is only with Scalewatcher units, nothing else, no chemicals.
That's amazing. So the big question, if you could minimize the screen share, is
I sure will.
Really, how does something like this work? And I took the liberty of looking around for Scalewatcher and for some of the products there, and I was kind of amazed at what I saw. I was wondering if maybe you could explain how to our viewers, how does this work? I mean, it's electronic, right? I'm thinking.
Yes, sir. There is absolutely no chemicals used. It requires no plumbing. We actually have a cable that wraps around the incoming water line. You wrap it specifically in a certain pattern. It goes into the unit, you plug the unit in, the unit begins to work. What it does is it breaks down the calcium into nanoparticles, and then it fattens up those particles so that it will not adhere again. If you have existing scale, because scale, of course, accumulates like a tree ring, it will break down those layers piece by piece with the flowing water until it will actually eliminate the scale within your system.
Amazing. Now, does it also create a magnetic field as well?
It's a 4-point system. Yes, magnetism is only one part of it. Radio frequencies are another portion of it. There are other portions of it that are proprietary that unfortunately I can't share, but there are about 50 different knockoffs out there right now of our product, but we are the original. We were designed by Jan P. de Bat Dolman in the Netherlands.
How long ago was that? Do you know? Roughly
1988.
88. My goodness. So it's been around a while. It's apparently a trusted and proven product. Well, other applications, I'm thinking it sounds to me like it might be a candidate for like a municipality, maybe? Or
Oh, municipalities, yes. We have municipalities that use it on their wastewater. Another great application are cooling towers. Cooling towers efficiencies are brought back to life after a constant use. What you'll see is that your blowdown is more complete, and therefore your efficiency is higher.
so, and if I'm not mistaken, a cooling tower, for example, in a cogeneration power plant, they create a tremendous amount of heat, and that heat is cooled using these towers that create condensation, and almost like a rainfall as the hot gets spun around into this tower. As they cool, it turns into like a rain. The rain cascades down, they collect the water, and then they use it again to turn back into steam, and continuously, almost a circle of life with that water. Water becomes steam, steam gets hot, it's cooled down back into water and so forth. Now that to me sounds like over time you're boiling down the water and exposing it to a lot of calcium and other
Absolutely.
elements.
Absolutely. And what you want to do is you want to get rid of that calcium. You want in your recycling of the water constantly. You're actually building up calcium a lot sooner on those elements, and therefore you're losing efficiency of your cooling tower. What we do is we keep everything cleared out of calcium, and therefore anything with a cooling system that has recirculation,
Right.
you would put the Scalewatcher on the recirculation line so that it is constantly treating that water and keeping the calcium in check.
Okay, so take me through the process. If I call you today, and we'll have your website, phone number, an email address, whatever in the below here in the recording, it'll be displayed nicely for you. But if I'm a customer or if I'm somebody in need, and I reach out to you, take me through the process. Do I make a phone call? Do I order it through the web? I mean, I don't know what to do, right? So I call you. What happens?
All right. You can either call us directly here for commercial or industrial applications, or for residential applications. We sell to dealers and distributors across the United States, in Canada, and South America, and Central America, and in Mexico. And if you're interested in becoming a Scalewatcher dealer, just give us a call. I'm more than happy to talk to you. It's a really easy way to sign up to be a part of our Scalewatcher family.
So when a customer calls and says, I own a factory, I'm having pipes that used to be this big around and now they're slowly getting calcium, and I want your help, take me through the process when they initiate the call until I actually have the product installed. What's the timeline? What happens?
Oh, really easy time. We have a specific questionnaire that I would send to you. All right. It asks for the pipe size. It asks for the pipe material. It asks for the application. We don't even have to go out to see it. This can all be done over the computer. It can all be done with pictures with the questionnaire. We will quote you the specific app for the specific application that you're looking for. If it's a heavy industrial unit, the most lead time that it's going to take is anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks before that product is in your hand. We send the product to you with the instructions on how to install it. This is a DIY project. You do not need plumbers. You do not need electricians. If you can read the manual, you can do an install.
Now that's important to know. So as the owner of the factory, I hand this to one of my maintenance people or operations people and say, go ahead and install this, and it's done. How long until I see, and how do I know that I'm getting results? What are the methodologies? I can't stop the factory and cut the pipe open. So what are the tools that I use to measure the efficacy of your product?
The easiest way to do that is with a TDS meter, total dissolved solids. All right, you can get this at any hardware store, not just for commercial or industrial. You can do this actually with residential too. The TDS meter will measure the total dissolved solids. What you want to do is measure the raw water before you install the Scalewatcher, and then allow the Scalewatcher to work for at least 30 days. Measure the water. During those 30-day periods, you will actually see a rise and fall of the TDS in the water. What this is signifying is that it's breaking down the scale piece by piece, layer by layer, and removing it. When your TDS goes back to normal and stays there, if you were to cut your pipes open, you would see minimal, if any, scale.
So the key is knowing where your baseline TDS is to begin with, and then watch it as you install it. You're going to get a couple of surges of up and down, showing that there's some things going on, obviously, because it's working. And then over time, it actually drops to an acceptable level and levels off.
Correct.
And that way, you know. Plus, I guess I would imagine that you start to experience a better economy of whatever it is that you're doing. If you're piping water or chemicals, whatever it is through there, that you're seeing it becoming more efficient.
You will actually see a better flow rate in areas where you are actually interacting with the water and feeling the water. The water will feel softened, but it will not feel slimy. A lot of times with standard, with standard types of softeners, I can kind of feel a slime on my skin after. It really feels like it hasn't been washed off. But with Scalewatcher, you would get like a squeaky clean.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen for a second here. I love this picture, and I love the way this works here. This actually explains how the wrapping around the pipe, how it creates this magnetic and electric field. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And then this is the actual unit that these wires are connected to, I imagine.
Correct.
And it's a great representation to show. And this right here is an example of that scaling that you're talking about.
Yes, it is.
And some of the industries that you use. So it is quite fascinating, Pam. I can't thank you enough for sharing that. Is there anything else you'd like to share about the product itself or the applications? Are chemical or other industries using this too? I mean, if I have a hide and tallow company, where I'm boiling animal fats and things like that, I mean, are there any applications in that area? Or?
Absolutely. If you use water, if you have a need for water, then what you need is a Scalewatcher. So there's absolutely no industry that I know of that could not benefit from the use of Scalewatcher. There is no home that I do not believe would not benefit from a Scalewatcher system.
Interesting.
Not only are you helping yourself, you're helping the environment. Let's get
How is
rid of
that?
a lot of these.
Explain that to me. Explain how we're helping the environment. I didn't mean to step on you there. To me, it sounds like to help the environment, what you're doing is you're actually becoming more efficient, so you're creating less demand for everybody else. So if everybody does their fair share, then the demand drops, because we're not all trying to put our throughput in what used to be a large pipe that's now skinny down. So I'm guessing that's the way, but are there any other environmental help with
Absolutely. With salt softeners, of course, you're using salt, you're regenerating at least about 100 gallons a week. This would be for a residential application. You are using about 100 gallons a week that you are regenerating your softener with, that you don't even get use for. It goes through the softener, it rinses out the softener. You don't even use that water, really. You get no use out of it, the softener does. And what does that water, that saline water, where does that go? It goes right into our drainage systems, which means that it has to be reprocessed. That has to be taken out. Why are we adding chemicals into our water when we just have to turn around and take them right back out, when a Scalewatcher can take care of your scale?
That's a great thought I didn't think of. So thank you for sharing that. So they can reach out to you, they can call you, they can get you on the web. Sounds like the maximum amount of time it takes to get the biggest job address is 4 to 6 weeks.
Yes, sir.
How long do you keep that on there, or do you just leave it on there for the duration of the company? How long does it stay on the pipe?
It stays on there forever.
Interesting. Okay. So as long as it's actively creating this magnetic and electronic field, it's doing its job. If you take it away, then you run the risk of having it come back. I see. Okay.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Well, I think we've actually addressed all the questions. I can't imagine. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap this one up? This is actually very good information, and I sure learned a lot. I thank you for that. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to thank you for your time.
Well, it's my pleasure. Hey, folks, if you are interested in the Scalewatcher, please reach out to Pam McDowell at Scalewatcher. What's that? Well, scalewatcher.com,
www.scalewatcher.com. Either that or just email me at salesna@scalewatcher.com. I'll get right back to you.
That's fantastic. Folks, you've watched another episode of Lunch and Learn with Vince. If you like the video, please like it and subscribe and share it with your friends. And Pam, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I really do want to thank you for joining me on my Lunch and Learn. And if we can ever do anything else, you just reach out and let me know. And folks, we'll see you soon. Thank you.